Holding tight while it lasted. I thought that we were forever. I didn't know any better. Took a second chance, trusted you again. I feel shattered. Broken strings, cause you play me like a violin. Shame on me for all your 7 deadly sins. Had it all, but you craved attention. Drowning in your own reflection. Put me down just to see me get back up again. 6 feet under and you're ready to give all the pain. If I was your new addition, you make me part of your equation. Shattered from the past, wish you were my last. Shatter me to pieces like broken glass. Ooh, frozen looking at pictures that we took back in the summer. I thought that I would remember how we used to feel, but this isn't real. Now we're over. Take it all, there's nothing left here anyway. We used to talk, but now we don't know what to say. Now we're just 2 passing strangers. We tried, you lied, goodbye forever. Put me down just to see me get back up again.
All right, I think we're working. I think we'll see. I'm
Are we
sure.
live?
I'm sure Thomas Franco will let us know if we're not.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Hey everyone, this is the Retro Ranger wrap up. Thanks so much for joining us. We took a break last week because we did our 4-hour charity stream last Saturday. We were a little bit
That's
tired,
correct.
but we are back on the rails again this Sunday. Oh my god, I just changed my headphones.
It's Willa Daniel. Bravo. Bravo.
I need to upgrade my phone and get some of them headless, or what do you call it, wireless.
Oh, the AirPods.
Yeah, that I'll probably lose within 5 minutes, but
Yep.
you know.
Yeah, Daniel and I are on Team Android, and Samsung just came out with their Galaxy Buds, which
Yeah.
I don't like the earphones that like stick into your ear.
Oh.
Like I've got the sports style ones that kind of just like sit inside, but don't like stick in.
Yeah.
That's
You don't
kinda...
like it being... Maybe I'm just used to it, you know? Like, I'm not trying to say too much, but like, you know. Like, it don't bother me at all.
I can, okay, that makes sense. That's fine. That's good. Yeah, Josh is not a fan of penetrative. And, funny enough, I can take it or leave it, so...
By our powers combined, we cover everyone. Somebody for all y'all out there.
Wow, there we go. Huh? That's interesting.
All right, so that was a great show, guys.
All right.
But anyway, talking about Power Rangers, We are slowly winding down to the end of Power Rangers in Space. How do you guys feel about it so far? We only have like how many more episodes left?
There are 5 left after today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, huh?
So
Countdown.
we only have like 2 more weeks. Was
Yeah,
it 2 more weeks
yeah,
of
we've
Power
got
Rangers?
we've got 3 more episodes next week, and then the final 2-parter the week after that.
Man, I just thinking about it, it's like, wow, Countdown to Destruction is supposed to be like a big thing. It's supposed to be huge. Everyone's like, oh man, just wait, you're getting close to Countdown to Destruction. But the thing is, I don't know if after this week, I don't know if I'm ready to believe Power Ranger fans when it comes to, hey, this is a big monumental kind of thing.
Well, see,
Some I think are just big to the fandom and not big to someone that just casually watches.
I think
Because that's happening in this one of these 3 episodes.
I think I understand what's happening. They're saving up all the good stuff for the last 2 episodes, and that explains these 3. Like, those last 2 episodes sucked up all of the good, and we got these.
Yo, you're not a fan of Seymour? Nah, you're not a fan of Seymour? Like, freaking growing up, being a little Joey in, like, the little pouch.
Man, so...
Learning how to speak. Like, yo, he learned how to speak English like that, man. Like, that little monster is super smart.
No.
I don't...
The first moment I on the screen, I was like, now I'm upset. That's all I said to myself. Now I'm upset. I had to watch it, like, I mean, come on, dude.
It reminded me kind of the creature from the Lost in Space movie. I don't know if either of you guys have seen that from like 1998. They had like this like CGI type like I don't even know how to explain it. Like I know Daniel's seen the Jetsons. Elle, have you seen the Jetsons?
Mm-hmm.
So they had like eventually towards the end of the cartoon, in addition to Astro, they also had this pet that had like slinkies for legs.
Oh.
I didn't make it that far then.
Yeah.
I don't remember that thing.
Like that's what this thing reminds me of. Just like this goofy like why does this exist type creature that's just there to be there. Like the
Well, it's like the what was his name? Laro
Yeah,
like the little thing from Turbo. Larago.
There you
Like
go.
he was it reminded me of that. Like it didn't feel like it really belonged in the Power Rangers universe, especially in space where it was doing super cool. They got some badass costumes for our villains, and then we get this like really Muppety looking thing like out of nowhere.
What I had been expecting was for it to start eating everything and to start grow and like if to keep growing and
like
growing
Little Shop of Horrors. So you wanted it
sort
Little
of.
Shop of Horrors like
You want a slight,
But
Little Shop of Horrors, tribble kind of thing.
But like a good guy version of that, where he just keeps eating it, and then eventually he's so big that he's able to take on the monster himself.
Oh my gosh, how has that been seen before? That's on something, right?
It's gotta be.
Like, right? That's a classic alien cliche. Hey, did you guys notice that Andros was on that? He was on Seymour's planet, and he said, "Oh, don't worry, you little monster." Like blah blah.
I saw that too.
First off, Andros, you're a dick.
He uses the word monster. Like he's a native to that planet. You are Christopher Columbusing here, and you need to shut your mouth.
Exactly. I'm like, Andros, if anything, you're a monster, buddy. You're the monster that doesn't look like an anglerfish and all that. So, you should have been the monster, but he's like, "Oh, don't worry, you little monster." Sure, and he left off. I'm like, what the hell, dude?
Right,
Yo,
like
he's an alien. Come on, Andros. You've been traveling space for how long now? This is your second group of Power Rangers, and you'd be calling these monsters?
But he wasn't even an alien because he was on his planet. Andros was the alien.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
True. Yeah.
Alien, man. And it's like, you still were just like, just gonna call you a monster. That's how it is. Manifest destiny.
I mean, that's how everything is in the Power Rangers world, right? You're either human or you're a monster. That's
No, because we started to have this discussion because there were episodes where they specifically were like, "Oh no, let's get that alien! Let's get that alien! Oh, fight this alien!" They were very specific when they were saying alien and monster. Now all of a sudden they're just back to who cares, monster again. So it's like, I don't know.
We talked about it on this show before because obviously when Finster was creating the monster of the week, they were obviously monsters. They were like creations,
Right.
you know. But now we're like doing like intergalactic species. Like those aren't monsters anymore. Those are definitely aliens.
Yeah, like
That's
these
monstrous, man. We don't stand for that here at the Illuminati.
That's right. That's right. We banned Jester to the other show because he was a monstrous. That's all we're saying here, guys. No, but okay. So on this episode, yes, there was Seymour. Really, did we get anything from this episode?
No.
All my notes, aside from the monster comment, is like, this is weird. This is extremely weird.
Like there was absolutely no plot development in this episode at all. It was this one-off story, which is fine. I don't mind having one-off stories, but the story went nowhere. Like it was just like Andros is on this planet looking for Zordon. He finds this little guy, brings the little guy back to the spaceship by accident because it stows away on the ship. It eats a bunch of stuff. It gets bigger. It learns English. It merges with the other monster. They defeat it, and it goes home. That's it. Like there was nothing to the episode.
Nope, not at all.
Right. So for those of you in the chat, go ahead and rate this episode. Let's give it our ratings here real quick so we can move on to the meatier episodes of this week. Josh, what would you give Andros and the Stowaway?
A 2. It would have gotten.
Oh, that's pretty generous.
It would have gotten a 1, but the costume for both the little monster and the bigger monster were actually pretty good. So just for production design, I'm giving it a pump of a point.
All right.
Well, for me, I'm not giving it anything. I'm actually taking something back because I feel it took some of my time and my life away. So it's a -1. How about that? Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, call me crazy. I've never seen Mac and Me, but this is kind of what I imagine it to be like. Like, the creature on this was so poorly designed, in my opinion, that I absolutely loved it. And it was cute. And then it went through puberty, and it was, like, a little less cute. And then it had, like, the fusion thing, which was, like, really gross. Like, living inside, you know, the anglerfish dude.
And they didn't even say the right thing to fuse together. They just fused. Like you're supposed to do that fusion, like right?
Yeah.
That way, whatever.
But it was more like a little like a Joey and a kangaroo, and it was just like you're inside of my like skin pouch now, and it was just very uncomfortable. It was really weird.
Yeah,
I gave it a 4. We have people in the chat. I was actually able to bring it up. Jared Hodges gives it a 3. Blackwing gives it a filler out of 5, which is definitely what Josh was saying.
Accurate.
Metal Ryan Cluster gives it a 3. MJ retracted. The Blur gives it a 4 out of 5. Jonathan gives it a 3. MJ Spud gives it a 1.8. Thank you so much for being awake at such a late time from where. Oh man, I keep pulling my stupid headphones. You guys can read that. Hold on.
To move my hand farther away.
Well, of course, I have like my tripod up, trying to like get some height on this. What do we have? Edward Sanchez gives it a 4 out of 5. Mikey Nerd Talk gives it a 3. Itchy gives it a 2, and Thomas Franco gives it a 4. Okay. So it's all around. Like it depends. This is a love it or hate it episode.
Yeah. I'm curious from the guys in the chat who did give it a 4. What about it made it a 4 to you guys? Like I'm not judging you. Okay, I'm judging you for your opinion a little bit, but
I gave it a 4.
I just. But I know you though. I know the kind of stuff that you like. Like for you guys in the chat there, what made this episode deserving of a 4 to you? Discuss that while we move on to the next episode.
Mission to Secret City.
Oh boy.
Man, we get a lot of callbacks on this one. We finally get to see Ashley and Andros' relationship, which is kind of like the Kimberly and Tommy thing, where like they discuss it, but they don't really show it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, it's kind of a weird thing. Like, are they dating? Are they not dating? And then my favorite character comes back, little Miss Sylvie. Oh my god.
Was
Oh
her
my God.
was her mom a different actress in this one? Like at
I
the
don't
end,
even. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know.
I don't know if it was the same person or not. I couldn't tell.
I can't pay attention to like the dim people. I have to pay attention to the bright star that is Sylvie and why she is back on the show and still asking the question of why they brought her back.
Right. Well, I mean, we get Bulk and Skull and the Professor back. Like, we get a lot of people like being called back for this episode, which is kind of cool. But man, Sylvie, baby. And the Rangers themselves, it's like they're trying to expose themselves. Like, fuck, we know Zordon hasn't been here, but there's only 3 rules, guys.
It's not going to follow rules at all. But working hard as hell to make sure they can. Oh, well, Sylvie already knows that what's his name is a ranger, so it doesn't mind. We'll go ahead and out Andros as well in front of her.
Yeah, why not?
Dude,
Oh, he's a ranger too? I was like,
they need
now she
better
put it-
morphers. Whatever, like, clip they use to, like, put it onto their wrist, they need stronger ones. Like, I don't know why their, like, morphers, communicators just fall off so often. Like, I don't understand. Like, that happened to Cassie in the other episode too, and I'm just like, why does this keep happening? This is what happens when we don't have Billy Cranston being a Power Ranger anymore.
See, it needs to be more like the was it the Omnitrix from Ben 10, where it just like permanently attaches to his arm.
That's
Like,
exactly-
it fuses into his, like, molecular, like, skin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so why not?
It's part of the morphing grid. It's possible, you know?
It's true. It's true.
Thomas Frank-
So
he
here's
actually-
here's the big question about this episode though, and this is such a big question that this is what I titled today's episode of our show.
Mhm.
Why didn't they use the Battleizers before? Like this is the first time. Not only is this the first time they used them, but this is the first time it even came up, as far as I can remember. Like no one bothered to ask about it previously. They just were just like, oh, we've got these other buttons here. We don't care what they do. But now we find out that they have like this upgraded morph mode. Why didn't they use these when they were fighting the Psycho Rangers? Like, I don't.
Huh. Well, because
Andrew,
they were afraid. Remember, Andros gave us that kind of exposition by saying 1 is for this, 2 is for this, 3 is clearly overpowered, and I don't know what it is, and I'm never going to use it. I mean,
I don't know
that
why it's so
is-
programmed in there though. Like, just
Right, if it's OP,
take that one out.
like
Sure,
if it's something that could kill you, get rid of it.
I would think so.
So
I would
obviously
bet.
it's not that, and Andros was fine. Like nothing.
Yeah, like there was no repercussions whatsoever,
Like,
no
it-
consequences for doing super steroid mode.
It looks like it might have
seemed
hurt
fine.
a little bit when he first changed, because he had that little like while looking up at the sky and the lightning was coming down. But after that, it was fine. And,
Sure.
and it looked like he had a Captain America's ass implant in there too.
No, okay.
I did not notice that, but thanks for pointing that out, Josh.
Abram the realtor says, because the story asks for this. That's why. Once again,
I mean,
the answer is,
yeah.
No. Once again, he's joking with us because the answer is always
Because it's in the
because
script.
because
Yeah,
Power
it's Power
Rangers.
Rangers.
That's the answer.
Well, yeah,
You
well,
can't-
the answer, like, it doesn't matter what movie or TV show or whatever it is that you're watching. Like watching Batman v Superman for me, I'm like, why did they do this? The answer is because it's in the script. Like
because
that's,
it's in the script,
yeah.
yeah. But then
It just-
again, you're like, well, why did we hire the person that wrote this script? Like, why did we select this script? Someone else.
I mean, it's a lot of stuff though, because even like TJ and Cassie, they're hanging onto the stairs, right? Like, they are strong enough to do one pull-up. They can do one pull-up and just pull themselves up. And I was like, come on, guys,
Yeah,
we've
but
seen you
no-
kick butt.
But
so
if not, we wouldn't have had a badass moment where TJ was like, I'm gonna blow this shit up. Beep, and then boom! I was like, yeah!
So, and did we? I may have missed this, but did we ever figure out why they couldn't morph?
Wait, why they couldn't morph? Because they were in the secret city.
Hmm.
Oh,
Right.
that's
That was interfering with it.
Yeah,
was-
and then obviously the suits also block that like little laser beam that takes them to the super secret city or whatever, because they're like, we're in costumes and we got blasted, but guess what? Nothing happened. So I'm like, what? How does this work?
I think I
How
froze.
do their
Yeah.
suits work? Josh
That's true.
did freeze. I can still hear him.
That's
So
good.
he
I like.
disembodied.
I enjoy my frozen image there though, so it's fine. It's fine. It's a good image.
Oh, geez, that's dope. Yeah, it's like Josh calling in via satellite. no, but that's so true though. Like that, I forgot that. Yeah, because of their suits, it interferes with that beam, so they were still safe. But then, I like the idea, or at least the concept, secret city. Ooh, like it's here for a moment and it can disappear. It's like the Lost Island. So it's like
But
a lot of things.
but it wasn't like that. It wasn't that cool though.
Like, didn't it?
It wasn't that cool.
Wait, so you're saying it wasn't an actualized idea? Like it didn't? They
No.
didn't make any... Oh boy.
I mean,
So.
this was also a weird one because it was definitely a to be continued episode, but it wasn't a 1 and 2 parter, so it kind of threw me off ever so slightly. Where like jumping in, I was like, wait, did they wrap that up? Because this isn't called the Secret City Part 2. It just goes on to like Ghost in the Shell. I mean, Ghost in the Machine. You know,
Yeah. But it's clearly like, yeah, okay, this was a second episode. Like, this was a 2-parter. But yeah, like you said, they didn't really address it as a 2-parter. They kind of just did what they did. And we learned about we learned about the lab in this episode, right?
Yo, I'm gonna be honest. Like once Andros got super buff, I was just like, what is going on here? I couldn't understand. Like I didn't know why. And then like Sylvia's just like, I know how to work these buttons after holding it for like 2 seconds. Like I definitely inspected it before I gave it back to Carlos and said that this one was super steroid mode. So I made sure to press
I'm back.
that one.
I'm back.
Josh is back.
Sorry.
Welcome back, Josh.
No, I want to use a line that everyone knows is famous. She was a habitual line stepper. That's what she did. Don't cross over this line. Don't step over this line. She's like, oh yeah? Ha ha! And she jumped right over it and pressed that button. She didn't know what was going to happen. What if Andros' head would have just exploded right in front of her? Oh, it would have been cool then, right? Like, she didn't even think about that. She was like, I'm just going to press a button. Like, you don't know what could have happened.
Well, wasn't she around when they were talking about not wanting to use that one? Like that's how she knew which button to press, right?
Yes. And that's why I'm like, wow, that's rude. You really didn't care about them because he was like, it's overpowered. I don't know what it may do. If he's a Power Ranger and saying it's overpowered, I don't know what it may do. I've been afraid to use it for the years I've been a Ranger. What tells you, as a person that's never been a Ranger, it's fine, let me press that button for you?
Yo, it's Sylvie, guys. We talked about this in the other episode that she was in. For those of you in the chat, and I want to take a quick little diversion, do you prefer Sylvie or do you prefer Justin? Because they both accidentally found out the Power Ranger's identity by being kind of like a little sneak. So I was just kind of curious. Like the whole thing with Justin, he's hiding under Rocky's hospital bed. But the whole thing with Sylvie is like, I'm going to go inside of this photo booth because Carlos is a dumbass, paid for his pictures while he morphed. So now I get to find out that he is the Black Ranger. So for those of you in the chat, and both of you, Josh and Daniel, who would you prefer to steal your identity, Justin or Sylvie?
Who would I like to know?
In today's society, I would have to go with Justin.
Oh, that's a good one.
Why Justin?
Because I feel like I could threaten him without any repercussions.
Okay.
Like that's a really shitty thing to say, but
I don't condone it, but I do understand where you are coming from. But we do not condone any child threatening, any threatening at all. Let's just be super clear. But for a funny comment, like let's be real,
but it would just they would be empty threats. Like I would threaten him to scare him, but without actual like intention to do any harm to him.
Really?
Well,
I mean, unless we had like some way of erasing his memory with, a flashy thing from Men in Black.
I've got
Josh is like,
I got 5 reasons why you should not say anything to anybody. 5 reasons. Like, what does he mean? Pow, and he just hit a kid.
Well,
It's not gonna work out.
within space, it would be really easy too. You just teleport him up to the ship and put him in the holodeck thing. You program it to do a bunch of stuff, and you're just like, "Listen, kid, I'm gonna leave you with these guys if you spill the beans." Like,
oh my god. Josh is up here with like the A+ plans. I mean,
honestly, I am not against that at all. You did nothing to the child. It was the holodeck.
Exactly.
I don't know. That's a lot of psychological shit that can go on. That's gonna be a lot of therapy. Blackwing prefers Sylvie. Mikey Nerd Talk prefers Justin. Jared Hodges prefers Sylvie. Daniel, what say you? Who would you rather have steal your Power Ranger identity?
Well, Josh said in these days and times, the problem is I'm gonna say it. I'm a black guy. I can't do anything to 2 white kids. I can't. Just let them do whatever they want. Like
That's an honest answer, man. That's an honest answer.
But then I'd probably take them onto the ship and put them in the airlock. And just happen to open it up. What happened to the kids? Kids, man, they press buttons. Sophie did. You saw what happened, and then that's it. That would be my answer.
Or I actually have a plan that might actually work too. Be like, hey, Alpha 6, I've got a job for you.
Right? That's what I was gonna just assign Alpha 6 as a babysitter, and whatever happens is out of my hands at that point. Like, no, Alpha, I need you to watch this kid for like just an hour. Just 1 hour, I'll be back, and when you come back, that kid's gonna be gone. You don't know what happened, and Alpha ain't gonna confess to anything.
Or the other route is the kids are calling and they're like, listen, take Alpha 6 away. I won't say anything. Just don't leave me alone with that thing again.
Yeah.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Right?
That makes sense. But Elle, what about you? Do you have a...
I don't know. Whatever kid I got, that kid is just going into Alpha 5's hands just for an hour. I ain't gonna ask questions, but that kid ain't coming back. It's better if I don't know. It's just better if I don't know. The less I know, the better it is.
It's Space Christmas again? Wow. Okay, I'm a serial killer, guy. So you just get good at that. Like, it's Space Christmas. Oh God. Where are they? Where are they? You yelling at them.
Wow. It looks like we got some scores here in the chat. So let's see here. Let's go up. It looks like starting with Thomas Franco, 5 out of 5 because Andros is the only Zordon era Red Ranger to have a Battlizer, and Andros Battlizer is badass. It looked cool, but it was 40 episodes too late in the season. Let's see. Mikey Nerd Talk gives it a 2. Metal Ryan Cluster gives it a 4. MJ Spud is giving it a 4.1. Blackwing gives it a 5 out of 5 because of the Battlizer. Jonathan gives it a 4. Abram, the Realtor, gives it a 4 out of 5. The Blur gives it a 4.0001. And Daniel, what do you give it?
Well, I give this episode, I was going to give it just like a 1, but it bumps up to a 2 because the button scene at the end where it was like, oh, the ghosts, and oh, look what's going to happen. And it was like, ooh. So there you go.
Elle?
Man, I'm going to give this one, it didn't have a cute little monster. But I kind of feel like, because Andros is a Red Ranger, right? The writers are like, dude, we can't get TJ showing up, our main Red Ranger, with his abs. So we're going to give him the steroid suit. And because of that, I'm going to give it a solid 3. Solid 3 for Andros' new suit.
I'm going to go back to the chat here really quick. Edward Sanchez gives it a 4. Jared Hodges gives it a 3. Icky gives it a 4. And I'm going to give it a 2.5. Definitely not as bad as the last episode. Not as good as some of the better episodes. The Battlizer armor, again, it actually looked good. outside of the weird rubber suit.
No, it looked like Party City suit, man.
Yes,
It did not look good. Like
It looked like the
TJ
Party
just
City
wearing a
superhero
tight
suit.
shirt, you're like, damn, that's hot. But when you see Andros, you're like, man, that came from Party City. That's like the 5-year-old costume with like the abs sewn into it, man.
And the giant purple wings. I don't understand what was happening. I don't.
It was for me. It was kind of like in what was it? Transformers 3 when Optimus
That's
Prime
already way too
gets,
many
gets the wings.
Transformers.
Oh, okay.
Like it was fine. It just didn't make sense. Like I was like, all right, this kind of looks cool, but why now?
Yeah, I mean, it's like he put the Matrix in himself, and this is what.
But at the same time, I did like that the Psycho Rangers were coming back.
I did like that too. It did have a lot of hype, like seeing the ghosts of the Psycho Rangers, and we're like, yeah, badass costumes coming back.
I honestly was not expecting to see them again after they got destroyed. I thought, okay, we've got 9 episodes left. That's it. It's done. They're gonna move on to the Zordon story. And I think
Agreed.
that also really disappointed me with these 3 is that it touched. I froze again. So
yeah,
you guys can just listen to me. It touched on the search for Zordon at the very beginning of the last episode, but neither this episode that we're talking about now or the next episode touched on the search for Zordon at all again. So it was just like, I was just like, what are we doing? Like, why is
we're not looking for Zordon. This is like a Where's Waldo, but you're trying to like give the Where's Waldo book to like a 2-year-old. Where their like interest is just like really short. Like they might try to look for him for like 3 seconds and then be like, oh look, there's a puppy over here. And I feel like that's where our Power Rangers are at right now. They know you're supposed to be looking for Zordon. Like we know the purpose of Where's Waldo, but man, there's so much other stuff going on in these cool pages.
Yeah, it is. It's like something else is shiny. I'm paying attention to that. They let it run in a way where it's like, okay, you're completely distracted, and it feels like they were appealing to the audience at that time. The kids were kids, and they were like, they won't even pay attention. Let's just do a whole lot of filler, and every once in a while, pick up something that's important. Trust me, they won't complain. They're just happy to see something. And it was, at that time, think about it. You were just happy to see a new episode. You didn't care what was going on. And that's exactly what they took advantage of.
Yeah, I honestly, I think for me, if all of the episodes were one-off episodes and there wasn't a storyline that we were supposed to be following, I wouldn't care. It wouldn't make any difference because every episode would be that filler episode that's just a standalone story, uses the same people. I get character development and all that kind of stuff because if you watch Psych. From USA, like Psych is like probably one of my favorite shows, but
they're having a part 2.
All you have to know is the basic premise of the show, and you can sit down and watch any episode of it and understand what's going on. You don't need to watch any of the previous ones. You just know what's happening, and I feel like with Power Rangers, a good percentage of the episodes are that. But then once they start once they start delving into the overall series, it's like, wait, it's been like 16 episodes since we've talked about this. Why is this coming back now? I feel like they're stuck between Monster of the Week and Serialized, and they can't decide which one they want to be.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely do agree with that. Did we get our rulings? We got what we thought about.
We did. We are on the last one. We are on Ghost in the Machine.
Yes.
The shaky cam episode. Man, the beginning of that episode, there was so much shaky cam. I don't know what happened to the Ranger budget that they had to use like hand cams.
Hand cam, really bad handy cam.
That was weird. Like, we had such good freaking production. This whole Power Rangers in space. Like, it was on the up and up. And then all of a sudden, we are in Blair Witch Project for no reason. No reason.
I thought
it was... Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, I think it would have been fine if it had played into the episode. Like, if there was a reason for it to be that style, it would have been fine. But because it wasn't a Blair Witch type thing, or Chronicle or
Well, this is before
any of those?
Blair Witch, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was before the found footage craze in the horror genre.
Yeah. But
so.
if this had been, if there was a purpose to the footage looking like that, if they had shot it that way for a reason that made sense with the way the episode played out, it would have been fine. The fact that it didn't go anywhere and it was just there, I was just like, what?
It was like an episode of Cops, man. Like they're busting into people's homes, looking in the showers, and it's like shaky cam, and it's like you're following the cops. I don't know if you guys like all get Cops around the United States or in the UK where you are, MJ Spud, but it is a show here in America when they have like some kind of like when the police department does something super cruddy. We had the show called Cops, and they follow around like the police, you know, in that city to try to make them look better as they're like busting down doors and putting away people. It's crazy.
They just break it out. Bro, shut up! Shut that dog up! Bah, bah, bah. Let's go! You were like, I didn't know what was happening. I never knew what was happening on Cops until they were outside and finally talking to a person and arresting them. Because the shots were always everywhere. Like, they bust. You see them when they break through the door. Then all of a sudden, the cameraman's running like this for the rest of the. Oh my God! Oh, you see feet moving around, and then the camera goes back up, and everything's done. And you're like, what just happened? What just happened?
But that was the beginning of this episode. I didn't really understand, like, really why they were going into people's homes. Like, they already knew that they had, like, taken people to a different dimension, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, I want to check the shower. It's still running. Look, they're not here. I didn't even knock first. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? This is an episode of Cops. I don't know why this is Power Rangers right now. But I don't know. That was just me. That's one little, like, minutiae detail.
Well, it was on Fox, so I don't know, you know?
That's true. That's true.
They're like, budget, all right, just bring them in, let's shoot the episode.
And then it switches randomly to Black Mirror, man. Like, they're putting people in these, like, data cards, and it becomes, like, a Black Mirror episode, and I'm like, whoa, this is getting crazy.
So the data card thing, again, this is another question for me, sort of like the Battlizer armor. Did Estrada have access to this thing before? Like...
Hey, she just pulled a hat trick. I don't know. Like, it was just like, blah, blah! And I was like, okay, all right, it exists. Once again,
just like that.
Because Power Rangers. That's the answer.
But then also,
yeah, why not use it?
Also, after they turned the Power Rangers into those data cards, why didn't they just break the data cards?
That's a good idea, Josh, because they don't want to actually kill them. Otherwise, it's the end of Power Rangers, man.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah,
we would have no more show.
That
Josh,
should have been like the worry. Like they should have done it and then be like, now we'll destroy them, and then the Silver Ranger comes in, and stops them.
Right. For me, yeah, it's.
What are
I
they
think
saying all the time anyway?
I think for me the problem was, again, I understand this is for kids, so this is me talking as an adult watching the show. There was no. I mean, obviously, in any series like this, there's not going to be any risk of the main characters being killed off because you can't kill them off because then where's the show? But there was still the plan. We knew that nothing was going to happen. Like for me, I would have preferred if the plan like actually had some sort of danger attached to it. Like if she was like, okay, well now that they're in the data cards, we're gonna put them in this thing, and that's going to destroy them. So, and then you've got ticking clock for the Silver Ranger to come in and save them from whatever that thing was, not just.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what the plan was after they collected them. It was just like, okay, we've got them now. We're gonna frame them and put them up on the wall like a gold record or something. I don't know.
I don't know what the reason was. I don't know why they did it. Like, okay, now we've got the Rangers digitized. What now?
Yeah, exactly.
That is a good point. But also, like, man, I always forget that Zane is, like, supposed to be there somewhere. Like, he is as useful as Alpha 5. Or Alpha 6. I'm sorry. I'm like, way back. I keep saying Alpha 5, but you guys know I mean Alpha 6. He's, like, barely useful. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a comment, Thomas Franco, because I'm going to ask you why. I don't understand how this works. But the reason why you're talking about shaky cam, L, for the record, it was Kyuichi Sakamoto was the main director for Power Rangers. I don't know what that means. I don't know.
Or I
like,
wonder what the context of like that
is that his
episode
style?
was in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a
like-
big. I don't know.
Was there
Like,
an
Thomas
earthquake
Trump-
going on, and they're like, "Whoa, earthquake!" and they're trying to just foot it.
That's what. Like, is that his style? Or is that because if that's the thing, then it's like, oh, okay, I get it. So you gotta give us a little bit more because I don't know what that means yet. So help us out there. But with this episode also, it was like, okay, so they did the data cards. They go ahead and use them to turn the Rangers into data, and then the Rangers now are turned out of data and turn the villains back into data, blah, blah, blah. I need an answer from fans to tell me why the data cards are still a big thing. Because I know at cons, I see people that have the data cards, and if someone has a data card, you'll take a picture with that data card. And I'm like, first I didn't know what they were, and then now I see the episode, and I'm like, it wasn't that special. Why do we care so much?
So,
But is it because it was a return of the Phantom Rangers? I mean, not Phantom, the
Psycho Rangers.
well,
Psycho-
I'm assuming because at the end of the episode we see that they actually had saved the data cards that the Psycho Rangers were on. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they're going to come because I know Astronema comes back.
They didn't really save them. Zane was just kind of like, hey, they were right there, but I didn't take them. So essentially they're dead. We killed their souls. Like we don't really kill anyone, but we just chose not to save them.
Yeah,
in that
it's
moment.
Batman. It's Batman.
Yeah.
It's
And then so Blackwing also says that Koichi has a style for slanted camera angles, so he's into the Dutch angles. But shaky cam and Dutch angles are very different. Dutch angles are like to create like a sense of unease versus like
Exactly.
shaky cam. That's a very different director style.
Yeah, Dutch angles. Like, if you want to know, like Dutch angles, go watch Uncut Gems. That's recent.
Or The Shining.
Yeah, or the
yeah, Shining is a good one too. Yeah.
You'll see that. And it's once again to promote that feel of
Man,
unease.
I'm gonna go way off topic here for a minute because you just broke it up. Daniel, how long ago did you watch Uncut Gems?
Once it hit Netflix.
Okay,
so that's 2-3 weeks ago.
okay. I saw that in the theater, and I was so stressed out watching the movie. Like
The entire time.
it's one of those movies where like the basic, like you can predict the basic plot points of what's going to happen from scene to scene, but not necessarily how it's going to play out. And just even though I knew what was going to happen, I was still like sitting on the edge of my seat going, oh what's going on? It was just such a good movie, but so stressful to watch.
Yes, that's exactly it. I mean, but once again, that's the feel, that's the mood it was trying to elicit, and that's what brings us right back to once again the proper use of Dutch angles. And
Sorry. I'm gonna cut you off for just 1 second. Jezer asks why Josh isn't moving. I am moving. I'm just moving incredibly slow so that you cannot see me. It's imperceptible.
Fast that it just looks or we perceive
That is a good quote.
like fast, right?
I got a thing. Congratulations, me, but go on.
Oh, that's what he said when I'm so slow. Okay,
Yeah.
bravo.
You
Bravo.
can't see me. Good job,
Yeah.
Drax the Slayer. The Destroyer. Sorry, I'm getting my names wrong too. Fake fan, everybody.
You still get good. You still got it. Nothing goes over your head because you would catch it.
I would.
Oh, okay. I don't know why. This has become entertaining.
We are digressing.
Yes, we are.
But yeah, like I don't know. What do you guys? For those of you in the chat, let us know what your ratings are for this particular Ghost in the Machine episode. It built up to be super good, but I don't know if it like fulfilled it. I still liked it. I love the Psycho Rangers. I'm just a sucker for those suits, man. Every time the Psycho Rangers are in an episode, I gotta give it to them.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with you. And Thomas Franco, no, just because I watch every episode doesn't mean I'll recognize his name as far as directing. I'm sorry.
Who watches credits anymore on Netflix? Like Netflix just skips right over all of them.
It automatically goes through. It's really rare.
Like I'll watch credits for like movies that I'm watching for the first time.
Yeah.
Or like TV shows. If I'm like, oh, I really like the style of this episode, I wanted to see who like the cinematographer is or who the director for it was.
I always stay during the credits for movies. I just feel like it's more respectful. Kind of like people that leave musicals and stuff before everyone does their final bow.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's super disrespectful and super rude. I mean, I get it, but I don't know. I was just raised a little bit different. But yeah, for Netflix, man, it just goes on to the next. There's been a couple, and I know I'm going to digress now, but for Avatar The Last Airbender, there's a couple where the voices where I'm like, yo, I gotta watch the credits. I want to find out who that voice was. Were you in Mulan?
Yeah.
Were you like the advisor in Mulan? Were you this person? You know, but other than that, I don't really watch the credits on Netflix.
So, ratings. Jezzer gives it a 5. Jared Hodges also gives it a 5. We have the Blur who gives it a 4. Jezzer's coming back and saying he's back because he's happy that Josh is there. MJ Spud. MJ Spud gives it a 3.9. And Blackwing, 4 out of 5. Good to see the Psycho Rangers again. Won't be the last time. Hint, hint.
But I think they come back in Lost Galaxy. I think. Just from my like overall
general knowledge of the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I hope they come back because man, those suits are just too good to waste on like throwaways like this.
Seriously, I mean they are amazing suits, and it would be a waste not to be able to see them again. I definitely agree. Thomas Franco gives it a 5, and he's sticking with his decision, saying that I should know because been watching every season. But no, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I'm just not paying attention. But once again, Netflix kind of ruins it for me, and I don't get to always see who directed it. I see who wrote it, because it always does make sure to say written by.
Yeah, at the beginning. Yeah.
So, I don't know. So, with that, everyone else, I guess us, what's our scores right now?
Yo, this one I feel like gets a solid 4 from me. I want to give it a little bit higher, but I want more Psycho Rangers, man. I want to feel like some tension. I want them to like win for a little bit instead of bickering among themselves. I know that's part of like their character, but I want them to finally realize like I want them to be like this, this force against the Power Rangers, and like they never quite are. So hopefully when they come back, they're down to like kick some butts and make me like anxious for our Rangers. That's what I want. I want to fear for their lives for once.
I agree with that. I also will give it. Well, I'll give it a 4. There were
generous.
There were a lot of things in this episode that I liked, even though there were also a few things that I didn't. But overall, I think the parts of it that I enjoyed were better than the parts that I didn't, which I guess that makes sense. So.
Yeah. I agree with Josh on that opinion. I loved the whole Black Mirror concept. If it wasn't played out properly, okay, still fine. I love that they went for it. I loved seeing my favorite villains come back. That was huge for me. Every time I see the suits, I'm like, automatically you're getting 3. Just the episode's getting 3, and then this just brings it up. So this gets a 4 for me.
If any of you in the chat know how to get some Psycho Ranger suits or know some creators that know how to make those, again, I would be super interested. Those Psycho Ranger suits are like probably my favorite after the Dark Rangers. Like Dark Rangers for sure is number 1.
So
Psycho Rangers definitely number 2 though.
So you don't want to wear a Seymour costume.
Dude, there's this one, and like Pseudo Bulk is the one that introduced me to this, but there is God Ramen from one of the Sentais in Japan, and like, dude, if I was a monster, like, I don't know if it's God Ramen or Ramen God, but like that one for sure, he's a freaking cup noodle with like the most monstrous mouth. Like that shit looks amazing. If anyone knows where I can get a God Ramen suit, that might be better than Dark Rangers, man.
I'll have to look that up, but I'm willing to bet that you could probably modify a Master Shake outfit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that's smart. Good job, Josh.
I have no idea what this thing looks like, but just from the description of it being a cup of noodles, I would
Dude,
assume
it looks
that Master
so good.
Shake
If
is
any of you in the
probably there.
chat know who God Ramen is, let me know, because that's like probably my favorite monster. I could eat like freaking cup noodles all day, every day. That might be number one. Then Dark Rangers.
Also, Abram gives it a 3.5, and Edward Sanchez Production gives it a 4.
Nice.
The Blur
It's all
said
up there.
maybe you could do a fusion of Psycho Dark and the Psycho Dark Rangers.
Well, PMC is 3 days, so I definitely want to do a Dark Ranger one day, and then
And do the
yeah.
Psycho Rangers.
Well, the other one that I've been saving money for, I really want to be from Go-Go Power Rangers. I don't know if this is a spoiler, but I want to be Trini, but in the Red Ranger.
And the rest, yeah.
See,
Yeah.
Joe really wants me to be Mr. Kaplan.
Oh yeah, you should be Mr. Kaplan.
What?
The toupee.
Right? Oh god, I would love it. That would be a good one for you, man.
I don't even think I have enough hair for that though. Like
That's what you get a toupee for.
It would be bald all the way around the toupee.
That's fine. We get it.
Kaplan. This is Mr. Kaplan. You know, he runs things.
Oh yeah, it's from Jetman. Cup noodles from Jetman. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna send you guys a picture of it after, because man, that monster suit is so good.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
And if you
Well,
can put it over my face if you can, if you want to bring it up and put it over my my stream as Ramen God.
There it is. And she's like, "Hello, Ramen
He's
God."
got like luxurious like ramen noodle hair, like.
Oh yeah, you could absolutely modify like if you could find a Master Shake costume, you could definitely modify it for this.
Oh, I'm gonna have to
It's
look.
so good.
So good. Yeah, let me save this picture and I'll bring it in.
Yeah, if you could bring it up for all of y'all to see. How many of you in the chat are going to be going to PMC next year? We're super sad that it had to get postponed, but hey, we got a COVID situation. It's better to be safe, you know. But oh man, I was super excited for PMC this year.
Right. Oh yeah, Thomas Franco's right. Anarchy, Anaki. Anarchy does. He makes really good cosplays.
Oh really?
And some really good Power Ranger ones. A lot of people go to him. I mean, JDF went to him for some stuff before too. So it's like,
oh nice.
He makes really good stuff. So hit him up. Sometimes the suit may be a little smaller than expected. So give him measurements. Say you can ask for like, hey, give me a little room for blah blah blah, whatever. And then
I know, especially with this COVID thing, man, it's been hard. I've been snacking, not going out. Gyms are still not open over here in LA. So it's been rough, but hopefully next year PMC, I want 2 cosplays for sure. If I can get Dark Rangers number 1. I've been talking about that since before last PMC actually. But
All right,
man,
let's see here if
it's like
I
a
can
lot of
get this to
people
work.
definitely are going. Blackwing's going. My gosh. Wow. Yeah. Okay. The
yeah,
Blur's
PMC's
going.
moved to 2021. It gives me a little more time. I'm actually trying to get, if you guys know JD, who helps write for Cosmic Protectors, I know he wants to be a ranger, trying to get him into a comfortable spot where he wants to be a ranger. He is on the right path. I'm super excited about that. So I'm hoping that he'll like cosplay with me.
Sweet. I think it would be dope.
So
Josh,
the costume is there on the front, or not on the front,
Okay.
on the stream now.
Oh, okay.
You guys should be able to see it in just a couple of seconds. But
Yeah, that is that. Like he has a fork as a hand. Like, dude, like that monster just looks so freaking good, man.
Oh my god!
it's pretty good.
Like, can you imagine that? Like at PMC, just walking around as like cup noodles,
Oh, I need.
carrying a cup noodles.
I like the teeth. I really like the teeth.
Like the mouth makes it really like
Yeah.
he looks menacing. Like he looks
Yeah.
like an actual like monster alien. I'm actually not sure. Haven't seen Jetman, but I just know fake fan guys. But I was just showed an image of this because I was mentioning I want to be a cup noodle monster and found out that it already existed.
Oh wait, there's something
But yeah,
even
that
better.
looks so good.
All right, I'm saving another picture here to
Oh
bring
my
over.
god! I am in love with this right now because I can see
It's
him
so good.
do their their roll when they laugh. I can see him doing the roll laugh and then talking to the Rangers. And,
But his arm is a fork, man. I wonder if he ever participates in like weird cannibalistic measures where he's like, I love noodles.
like
Out
what's
of my
his name?
head. Like Homer Simpson when he turns into a donut and he just like breaks off a piece of his head and like starts eating himself.
Big Pizza the Hut on whatchamacallit.
Oh yeah, for
Where-
Spaceballs.
Where his henchman was like, they're laughing. He's like, oh, you taste so good. And he's just eating them. It was like, oh,
Oh, that one's over my head. I can't.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know. I know enough about it where I can pretend like I've seen it, but share a secret with you guys. Have not seen that movie.
It's good enough. Oh yeah, huh? Yeah, Dark Helmet or whatever.
There's a guy with a dog. There's like a dog in that movie, right?
There you go. John Candy with a dog.
Yeah.
Josh, you got?
Do I got what?
Oh, are you gonna put up another image?
I'm trying it. Won't. It's not saving for some reason.
You technology. See, it's because we made fun of Alpha.
Oh, I see. All right.
It's
Give me a
true.
second.
He tapped into the morphing grid, put in a
Yeah.
freaking old floppy disk in there, messes up Josh's.
Aha,
I don't
that-
kidnap kids. I don't kidnap kids. I'm gonna show you guys. He's like a
He got upset. Oh
like
my
level
god!
hacker.
He just put it in and said execute. He pressed the ass to
There
the
we
dog.
go. All right.
That's a C-level hacker.
Dude, man, I'm super hyped for PMC. Like, I'm super sad we got to miss it this year, but hopefully we'll get some good stuff going for next year.
Dude,
If you guys have any other cosplays or any
Mhm.
ideas of what we should do,
oh,
'cause I
let us-
definitely want to I want a cosplay group. Like, man, Power Rangers is like one of the best stuff.
All right. So
Facebook genius. He said if you go with Trini, he can go with Jason, the Yellow Ranger.
Dude, I love, like, man, out of all Go-Go Power Rangers, like, that one just stays with me, man. I love that. I love the costume swap.
Oh,
Oh, man, it's
God. This is him as a giant? Like,
but
oh
like,
my God.
is he coming out of
a cup
another
of
cup of noodles?
Is it? This is how he was birthed.
I think he's using it as his, like a chariot. I think he's, and look, the way his fork arm is sticking out,
Yeah. It looks like a thing.
like he's jousting, you know? Like, I think that's it. Oh, man.
Dude, I
Black Week.
love that, though.
Did you ever see Jetman episode where God Robin is in it? If so, let us know. Did he use that second cup to joust? Because that's what I want to know right now. I think that's exactly what he did. Oh,
Man,
just-
that ramenception, though, I love that. And I just feel like, man, every time anyone asks me to send nudes, I'm going to send myself in that cosplay. Like, that's mostly what I want it for.
you're like surprised. They're like, what is this?
I'm nudes.
Oh my god. Okay, I think that's where we need to say thank you everyone for watching.
We went off the rails here. We were talking a bunch of nonsense. Thanks so much for sticking with us through all this. It's good to be back after a break week. It was a very intense week here last week. We had our Black Lives Matter stream. Our donation still isn't up for that, right? Like, we closed that. We raised more than double
Think
what our
that's been
goal
closed,
was.
Yeah.
I think we
And
raised-
hopefully we'll be doing more, charity streams in the future, because that was actually super cool. That was super fun.
It was great, and it was for a good purpose, and that's what made it even more, like, more meaningful. And hopefully next time we'll be able to have even more people that you know and love from the Illuminati. Like, for example, today, I think around 8 o'clock Pacific time, we're gonna have
Yes.
the wrestling show,
Yep.
which is the new wrestling order.
Illuminati
Yes.
World Order.
There you
Just
go.
kidding.
Or a new
Hey, what you
Illuminati
said sounded
Illuminati Wrestling Order.
There we go. Illuminati Wrestling, which will be at 8 p.m. right here on YouTube. So if you guys happen to like wrestling, go ahead and watch that show. You'll be able to catch up with it. We're not going to have Rage Cage this week. I think it's going to be next week. All right?
I'm not sure. I'm still waiting for Brandon to get back to me about that.
Well, let's just assume, if not, tune in anyway. And if you want to tune in later on Twitch, we do not have Rick and Morty tonight, but Josh will be playing some sort of gamey game on the Twitch stream.
Shay and I might be playing Ark, a dinosaur taming game of some kind.
Ooh. Okay.
Or DC Universe or Star Trek Online or something. We'll figure that out.
Cool. So it sounds fantastic. It sounds like you got a whole night planned. If you guys have nothing else to do, go ahead and watch. And if you do have something to do, still, just go ahead and watch. Nobody's going to notice if you miss it. Just disappear and enjoy something. That's what you guys need to do. That's what we need during these times. So tune in. Thank you guys for tuning in to us. Once again, Elle, say hello, say bye. Josh?
Bye.
Bye.
All right, and that's all of us. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
See ya.